Welcome back to Love and Life, a guide to a positive mindset. Today's episode is all about something that I absolutely love. Now, if you've been listening to me for a long time, or if you've listened to my earlier episodes, then you'll know that I love spiritual meanings of things, the symbolisms, angel numbers, so many things in our lives, like animals, plants, and just everyday things carry hidden messages and meanings, and often trying to give us messages in ways that we just don't realize. So today I just want to talk about a few things that have sparked me to look a little bit further into what it means, the symbolic side of the world around us, and uncover messages that these signs might be trying to tell us. So the reason why this subject has been sparked again for me is because yesterday morning I was out in my kitchen making a coffee, and I looked out the window and I saw a bird that I'd never seen before. It was like a grey bird with a yellow breast, and his tail was like bobbing up and down as he was sort of dipping down, getting the bugs or whatever he was eating off the ground. His tail was like a pendulum. It was just going up and down constantly, and it mesmerised me. I was stood there for ages watching him, and I even called Craig in. I was like, babe, what bird is this? Craig's quite knowledgeable on his birds, which is something I take the piss out of him for. However, I am a bit of a closet bird watcher myself, but he didn't know what it was. So obviously I had to Google it. It was called a grey wagtail. And these are quite rare in the UK. Like I said, I'd never seen one before. Craig had never seen one before, which if Craig has never seen it before, then I know it's quite rare. But Googling it made me then look further into what it might mean, of course, because I always do that. And this is what I found out. In spiritual terms, a wagtail is often a symbol of happiness, joy, renewal, and also rebirth, resilience and perseverance. So with the many changes, seasons, cycles that we go through in our lives, the message that was coming through is to go through these changes, these cycles with joy. In folklore, these rare in the UK birds are seen as an omen of good luck and fortune. They can be a sign that something wonderful is coming. So something like a new job or newfound fame, I'll go with that. And in Celtic folklore, it's believed that when a wagtail is spotted on someone's doorstep, it brings them good luck and prosperity. And I'm hoping that this is the case on their back doorstep, because it was literally just outside my kitchen window. Because I'm totally down for that. Apparently, ancient Greeks believed that the wagtail had access to secret knowledge and could foresee events long before they happened. In Eastern cultures, so in Japanese culture, the wagtail is a messenger of hope and renewal and bringing good tidings to those who hear its call. I didn't hear its call, actually. In Chinese stories, the wagtail is a sign of good luck, good fortune, and protection from evil spirits. In India, it's a sign of purity and hope. And it just made me think, like, how many of us walk past signs, have messengers brought to us every day, and they go totally unnoticed. Like, some people probably think it doesn't mean anything, what's the point in looking more into it? But I always think, like, if it gives you hope, if it gives you some kind of positive energy, then I'm going to grab onto that. And it's funny because something that I've been meaning to do an episode on for a while is something very similar to this. So again, in my garden, I was up in the garden room, and I could hear like that really distinctive blue tit call. And I looked out, and there was not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 blue tits in the tree at the top of my garden. So again, this is something I went away and Googled, what does it mean? What does it mean if you see 5 blue tits? Now, I couldn't actually find an answer for what it means to see 5 blue tits, but blue tits are a symbol of, again, joy, happiness and content. When you see a blue tit, it's encouragement to embrace positivity into your life. Apparently, seeing 2 blue tits carries an amplified message which signifies harmony and balance. So, like the yin and yang, almost similar to that. Some people believe that seeing two blue tits together represents partnership, companionship. So it might be indicating something about love. So if you are single, then maybe love's on the way. Or if you're in a relationship, then your current relationship will strengthen further. So I wonder what that means if there are 5. Now, the number five is a symbol for change, transformation, a renewed sense of freedom, and taking your life lessons with you as you continue on your journey. And the fact that that said renewed sense of freedom, honoring your individuality, like something that has been happening for me in the last, I don't know, certainly couple of years, is the fact that I am discovering more and more about myself. I am like learning to be comfortable being my true authentic self and not worrying if people have a different opinion of me than I want them to have, like not letting that affect me. And this is all to do with, getting over fear of judgment. And so that, for me, like when it said, I'm taking life lessons with you as you step forward on your soul journey, like the number 5 is actually really meaningful to me there, because that is exactly what I've been doing for the last few years. And like really, when you look at it that way, 5 blue tits isn't telling me something I don't already know. But what it is doing is it's affirming that what I am doing is making a difference to my future. Does that make sense? Like it's reassuring, and it's just that little bit of encouragement to just keep going with it. So to many people, like seeing that, people wouldn't necessarily think to Google what the meaning is. But given that I've spotted a bird in my garden that I've never seen before, and 5 blue tits, like who sees 5 blue tits? Like, yes, you see 5 pigeons, 5 seagulls, 5 sparrows, like they're so common, you see them all the time. But when you see 5 blue tits in one tree, like things like that, I think you're throwing away the opportunity to find out more, what your message is, what your purpose is, and what path you're on, and just to get that little bit of reassurance. So next time you see a hedgehog in the garden, next time you see 555 come up that's another thing, I saw 555 come up on the air fryer earlier. Like I happened to look over when it was 555. Don't just throw those things away. Look up what it means, because it might be a message coming to you. And if you can take comfort from that message, then isn't that amazing? Like I said, many people think, what are you going on about? It's just a coincidence. I personally don't believe in coincidences like that. So if I notice 111 coming up all the time, I see that as a sign. But every time I see something that intuitively I know is a message, is a sign, is a symbol, I always look it up. Just Google it. And I don't know if you've listened to my original episode I did on like spiritual meanings of animals, totem animals, spirit animals. But at the time, I was absolutely obsessed with robins, and a robin kept coming into my garden. Like whenever I looked out there, it was always there. So to me, I was always using that as a sign that robin is my spirit animal, and it's there to give me the sign that I'm on the right path. And actually, if you look up what robins actually, the spiritual meaning of robin actually is, it says that robins appear spiritually, reminding us to uncover happiness. They're associated with entering a new chapter in life. Therefore, the significance of seeing a robin encourages us to let go of the negative affecting our lives and embrace a new and happier phase. And at the time when I was seeing loads of robins, it was when I was entering my coaching phase. It was when I found belief coding. And we all know, if you listen to my last few episodes, like when I broke my hand, when I broke my hand, I'd asked for a sign, and that was to stop making cakes, is what I took from it anyway, which is when I entered my coaching period. And then last week I talked about Moldavite, and I'd found a piece of Moldavite that I was looking for. I was trying to manifest a piece of Moldavite for months and months and months, and this piece of Moldavite showed up, and within the same month is when I found belief coding. And belief coding is now the modality that I use most in all my coaching. And round about that time is when I was seeing robins all the time. Like between the time of breaking my hand and finding belief coding, I was seeing robins all the time. So that just kept me on the path. And it's funny because in the last year or so is when I've noticed that I haven't really seen many robins recently. So now when I do see a robin, I know, now I've got that reassurance that the robins have been there in the past to tell me to keep going. That is what I take from it now. And whether it's the same robins, like at the time I was convinced that these two robins lived in my garden. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, I don't know. But whenever one of them shows up now, I'm like, yep, okay, take note. So basically I've waffled on for this whole episode about what all the different birds mean to me. But I am urging you to Google it whenever you see something that intuitively you know is a sign. Google it and find out what it means, because eventually it's all going to make sense. And every time it makes sense, you know that the next time you see something, you have that intuitive feeling to go with it, to trust that feeling. And that's when we really start to be able to interpret messages ourselves. So I'd love to know, what do you class as your spirit animal? What do you see as a sign? Maybe it's not an animal, maybe it's like a plant, or maybe it's an angel number. Like, what is your reassuring sign that you're on the right path? And if you haven't got one, then just have a little think about what gives you comfort, or what do you notice happens lots for you? What shows up lots for you? Because that might be your sign that you haven't noticed yet. That might be your little reassurance from the universe, Please let me know in the comments, because I love looking at other people's spirit animals as well and what they take comfort in, because it actually tells me a lot about them. Like one of my friends, her spirit animal is a heron, and a heron teaches us to have emotional stability. It symbolises wisdom, solitude, and transformation. It's also a symbol of grace, patience, and again, wisdom. In many cultures, the heron is seen as a messenger between the earthly and spiritual realms. And just knowing other people's spirit animals, obviously when I see a heron, I automatically think of this friend. But it also, I think, is a representative of us and what is important to us, what drives us. I think it's a reflection of us as individuals. So yeah, do let me know what your spirit animal is, or, what you're drawn to whenever you see a particular animal, whenever you see a particular plant or number. What do you feel drawn to? And let me know, tag me in your stories, tag me in your any Instagram posts, or simply comment below. I would absolutely love to know. Okay, if you've enjoyed this episode and it's inspired you to look up what your favourite animal is, or Google what something means, then again, please do let me know. Share this episode and tell people about this episode. It's one of my more random episodes, I would say. I haven't planned it until about 5 minutes before. So yeah. Thank you for being here with me. If you like listening to me waffle on about spirit animals, angel numbers, and that kind of thing, because that is totally my thing too. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to follow me over on my Instagram, on my Facebook group, or subscribe to my newsletter. You can contact me by emailing me lisa@lisadavidge.co.uk, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great week. Bye.